Hello everyone. My name is Melissa Faust from stampwithmelissa.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Minnesota. And my goal is to help you become a more confident crafter, okay? And so I've been doing these videos on YouTube. I put them out on Saturdays. You might not be watching this on Saturday, but I put them out on Saturdays and I talk about general crafty things in a broad term. Okay, so today we're going to talk all about die cutting. Just very broad die cutting, okay? If you've been crafting for a long time, you probably are like, well, I already know what that is, and I know how to do it and whatever, and that's awesome. I hope that you learned something from today's video, and for others of you who might be new to crafting, or maybe you just don't have a die cutting machine, you might be like, yeah, please tell me how to use these, because I remember when I started stamping, I was 17 and I remember like dies seemed scary because a lot of stamp sets come with a matching die set, but then you've got the big machine you have to buy, and sometimes it just seems a little bit scary to jump into something when you don't know what you need, right? With punches, you can see my punches back there. With punches, you just need the punch. But with dies, you also need a die cutting machine. So I'm going to talk about the two different kinds of die cutting machines that Stampin' Up! Offers. You can see one of them back there. That's our little mini boho blue. That one's actually like gone. You can't get that color anymore, so I won't tease you too much about that. Hopefully you got one when you had the chance, but anyway. Yeah, so we are going to talk all about die cutting today. I am going to show you our machines there. We've got two of them, like I said, so I'm going to show you both machines. I'm going to show you how you actually run dies through. We are also going to make a card today using, honestly, I have not designed the card yet. But my goal is to use like as many dies as possible. Like we're gonna go die heavy on this card, okay? So flying by the seat of my pants a little bit, so you're gonna get to see a little bit of my creative process as well as I try to think things out and think, oh, that, or which one do I use, or oh, that one, oh no, that's a punch, you know, etc. So anyway, let's go ahead. I'm gonna hook my camera up. I'm gonna start by showing you the machines and what you need to start die cutting, and then we'll get into the card, okay? Okay, so here are our two machines. You can tell they barely fit in the frame, so I'm going to zoom out real quick. There you go. You see my whole desk here. You can see this is our big guy and this is our little guy, okay? I'm going to zoom back in normal. There we go. And I'm just going to show you these. Now, they work the exact same way, okay? So let me show you the little guy because he fits in the frame a little bit easier. But this is the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is the white version. The one you saw back there was the blue one. It is so cute. Portable. Honestly, I don't know how much it weighs. I should have looked that up, but it's like, I don't know. It's super light. Like this is something you would travel with, okay? So this guy here, he's got skinnier, what do we call these? Sides? I don't know. I don't know that these have a technical name, but this guy is obviously the miniature version, right? So there are set things that work in here, like, let me grab. We've got mini embossing folders. Now, everything that works in the mini machine works in the big machine, but the mini machine, not everything that works in the big machine works in the mini machine. Does that make sense? So we've got mini embossing folders that do actually fit through here. You just kind of have to look at dies to see like all of these dies would fit through here as well. Sorry, I should put them on this side. All of these dies would fit through here as well. But then when you look at like this die here, that's not, nope. Not gonna work, right? So that one you would need like the big machine for. So that is what the mini machine looks like. So it's really nice because they fold up like this. Pretty spiffy, right? So let me bring in the big guy. This is the one that gets used the most in terms of my usage. Here's the big guy, so you can see it's got a wider, what did we just decide to call these? Sides? If you have a better name, let me know in the comments. But it's got a, wider sides. That's what we're going to say. And what you need to use when you die cut. So when you buy the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it comes with these things called plates, okay? Here's one of the plates. The number 1 plate is pretty much going to be used, I think, every single time you use this machine. I honestly can't even think of an instance when you wouldn't use this. You'll notice that they actually have some like directions on here of when you should use certain things. I'm going to tell you, it's really easy to memorize. Let me scooch this way a little bit. Really easy to memorize. But you can see right here, this has a number 1 on it, which means it's the number 1 plate, okay? Then for dies, you're going to add a number 2 plate. It's this guy. It's real thin, Okay, don't be alarmed by its wrinkles, it's old. And then you're gonna have these plates called number 3 plates. Now when you get yours, they're going to be pearly, like, you know, crystal clear and so beautiful and pretty. And as you use them, here are 2 things you need to know. Oh, I should say 1, not A. Let me do that again. Here are 2 things you need to know. 1, they are gonna look like this. You know, you can still kind of see through them, but they are going to look like this. That is supposed to happen. No, your machine isn't broken. No, you're not doing anything wrong. They do look like this, okay? And then the third thing, wow, I'm all over the place today with my numbers and letters. The second thing is that when you run things through, it is normal to hear a cracking noise, okay? That is a question I get all the time from my newbie crafters, right? They say, oh my gosh, it cracked. Yeah, it should crack, okay? And as we die cut today, you'll you know, experience that. So anyway, you have a number 3 plate that goes down. Then what you would put down is cardstock, which I don't have out currently. Let me grab a piece. Okay, so here's cardstock. So you'd put cardstock out. Then you would put your die down. Now, if you're going to stamp something here, so this is the pansy set. If you're going to stamp the little pansy, you would stamp it before you die cut to make sure that, you know, it gets cut out right. So anyway, so I'm going to put that back on here, but you go well, actually, no, hold on. You go cardstock, die, then you have another number 3 plate and you put that on top, and let's just do it for fun. Then you're going to just crank it through. Ready? It's going to crack. See, totally normal that it cracked. And then pull it through, and these little metal things, these are what your dies are. I didn't say that before, but this is a die, the little metal thing. It cut it out. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It cut it out. Now, I don't know what we would use this for. This is a photopolymer stamp set, so I could stamp on it. But, you know, that's how it works. Isn't that cool? So if you look at the dies, here's a different one. If you look at the dies, it's got these lines here. That tells you that that's what's going to get cut out, those deeper lines, okay? I'm trying to see. Here's one. Here's a good one. This one, you can see it's got these thicker lines here. That will get cut out. But then it's got this thin line here, or not, what do I want to say? Not as tall, I guess. These are taller. These cuts are taller than this one. And this is actually going to emboss, okay? So let me show you that. So again, we've got our 1, 2, 3 plates, cardstock, die, and another number 3 plate. You can see I die cut a bunch of hearts. So totally normal to see what you die cut in your plates. No secrets here, right? Okay, so anyway, so here's what I get. You can see all of those little spots. Oh, there's some pieces stuck, but you can see all those little spots. That's bugging me. There we go. Where it actually did cut, right? And then you can see there's a line in the middle of this, and that's embossed just for some character. How cool is that, right? So that is basically all of what die cutting is. I am going to get some supplies ready here, and we are going to make a card, okay? Okay, so I have 3 different die sets all picked out. The pansy dies, I kind of pulled off the dies that I already wanted to use, just so I made sure I had all the cardstock prepped and ready for that. And then I've got these beautiful, they're not the suit and tie dies, but these are the, I don't know the name, but I'll put it on the screen because I don't know the name. It's like, I was gonna guess like elegant border, but I don't know that that's what it's called. Anyway, we're gonna use this die right here, and then I've got the stitched greenery dies, and we're gonna use this as well. So we're actually gonna start with stitched greenery. You can see I've got lots of cardstock selections here, but we're gonna start with this piece. And this one is kind of cool. I wanted to use it because it's very unique die. It actually, some of our dies don't go with a stamp set at all, and that's totally fine, but we don't have, to my knowledge, this I think is like the first background die that we have. So it's kind of cool, kind of neat, because it's a die. So we're going to run it through with the number 1, 2, and 3 plate. Okay, then I've got my die and then cardstock. Now you'll notice that this is actually different than what I told you before, right? Because I told you to do the cardstock then the die. But with this die in particular, it's the only one. I like to die cut it the wrong way. I don't know why. One important tip for you when you're die cutting: if you have a blunt edge like this, you don't want it to send through because the roller here is going to smack dab hit it. So you actually want to angle it, and it's going to go through better. So let me show you how it would do if I sent it through blunt. Oh, of course it's you know, it's just kind of like, it's difficult, okay? So if I back that up, if I try instead to send it through, you can see I got a little bit, but it just really fights you. Okay, so if I send it through on an angle instead, oh, it's just smooth like butter. Okay, so I cranked that through. We've got our die here. Then we'll just kind of peel it up and I'll show you this cool die. Isn't that fun? So it actually, like, these kind of emboss, but they're like little stitched. And so you don't have any leftover paper pieces or whatever to worry about. But isn't that kind of cool? It creates that background. So that's that die. Then what I've got is I have this piece of basic white. And I want to die cut a little border. So that's where I am going to use that little border die here. And you just kind of have to decide, do you want it to die cut up? Whoops. Or down, you know, you pick. So I'm going to die cut it on both ends here. So I'm going to first put it here and I'm going to bring it up, and I am kind of looking here. They've got these little dashes so you can kind of tell if it's centered or not. Okay, so we've got that. We'll go ahead and set down our number 3 plate and run this through. Whoops, drop your plate. Okay, now, like I said, my plates are old, so I just kind of have to dust them off a little bit because they get little itty bits on them. Okay, we're going to set that back down and we're going to die cut through again. Oh, I had pieces in my die. So if you get pieces in your die, what you can do is you can take your pick tool. Take your pick tool. That's like duplicate. Just poke them out. Super simple. Okay. All right, so we've got those all out, and then we're going to do the same border on the bottom, because how adorable is it? Okay, so we've got that set. We'll set that down, crank it through. Now sometimes too, your plates might start to warp, so my tip for you is this plate is always my bottom plate, and I do turn it, not every single time, but I do flip it over, but it's always on the bottom. This one's always on the top. And again, just flip back and forth, okay? So it gets equal, like, exposure, I guess. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. You know what I mean? So it's, yeah, equal exposure. I'm not good with my words or numbers today, I guess. Anyway, so here's a cute little piece. Okay, that's gonna go on our card. Okay, then we're going to finish off with some pansy pieces. So I've got just some various other little pieces here and cardstocks. You can see I really like to use up my scraps when I do these. When I am die cutting little things, because why not? Look, it fits perfectly. I could have thrown that piece away, but I knew I could fit something in these little spots. So, all right, so we've got those. Then we might not be able to get everything to fit on here, but that's okay. We're going to run through our flowers. What's nice too is you can see right here on this die, it actually tells you the product number that it is in case you ever lose that die. This one doesn't have it, but you know, kind of neat. All right, and then we've got these guys here. I gotta scooch them because I'd like to get 2 of these little pansy flowers. Okay, so we've got that, and then we grab our number 3 plate, and we're gonna crank them through. Okay, so we've got those all cranked through. Sometimes things like to stick. Totally normal, whatever. Okay, so we've got our pieces here, so I'm just gonna pull all the dies off. Oops, that one stayed stuck. There we go. Okay. Maybe we'll just do 1 pansy for this card. And then I'm going to show you here. So let me do this. I'm going to grab that that plate on top and set it off to the side for a second because I want to show you. I actually store my dies on magnetic sheets, and I buy these from Stampin' Storage. I'll put a link in the description box below. Speaking of that too, I don't think I've mentioned already, I will have a link in the box below to my blog post all about this card. So you can see pictures of this card and some die cutting tips and everything, you know, all that we've talked about today about die cutting on that blog post. On that blog post, I will also have links to Stampin' Storage to get their magnetic sheets. They are fabulous. So you can see here's one I have, and then here's a larger size because sometimes some of our dies come, you know, with a lot more or they're just bigger. So they have multiple sizes of these magnetic sheets. These ones I really like because they fit right inside your stamp case. Now this stamp set is kind of unique that it has multiple. Oh, I was like, where'd that stamp go? Here it is. This one is kind of unique because it, you know, goes on both sides, but these do fit right inside of your stamp case, which is really nice, so you can store them together. Okay. So that's just a tip for you. And I highly recommend them. They're sturdy, they are very durable, and I love them. Now, the reason I don't use the sheet that Stampin' Up! Gives is simply because it is paper with double-sided tape, and it just rips on me all the time. So I'm really harsh on them because I use my dies a lot. So yeah. Okay, sorry, I was off camera getting rid of all my little scrappies. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to assemble this card. Oh, I forgot a die. Look at that. Put that on my magnetic sheet. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and assemble this card now because we've got all of our beautiful die cut pieces. So you can see there that I use 3 different dies. A fun thing to do also is to just experiment, right? Play around with different dies. You can see I used this background one. I used the borders. I used the specific flowers. Yeah, and a lot of our stamp sets will come as die bundles, which means that they actually, you can save some money. So if they come as a bundle, that means that the stamp set and the dies coordinate, and you can actually save 10% when you order them together. So there's a special like item code for that. So you don't add the stamps as one item and the dies as the other item. You add, like, it's one bundle pack, I guess, that you add together, if that makes sense. If you have questions about that, please let me know. I'm happy to explain a little bit better. I can show the catalog here in this video as well. But yeah, so it's actually pretty neat. Oh, I should have stamped my sentiment. That's okay. We were chatting because we're friends. So anyway, so the bundles, you actually can save 10%. That's the same thing with the punch bundles too, but we're not talking about those today. So we're just talking about our beautiful little die bundles. But the nice thing is that a lot of the times the dies kind of elaborate a little bit more than the stamp set. So for example, the stamp set here for the pansies, you can see we've got the stamps and we have the dies to die cut these out, right? Well, you can see what I'm putting together right here, that actually doesn't go with a stamp at all. It's just a pansy on its own. So that's something really, really cool that I love about our dies. We also had this die set with little piggies in it and stuff, and that one had like a wagon. We've had like chicken wire with a chicken stamp set and stuff like that. So they oftentimes come with more than you'd kind of expect, which is pretty cool. So, all right, you can see I'm just assembling this little pansy here. I'm not a pro at it. I don't know what pansies actually are like supposed to look like. Like, is this supposed to go back here? I don't know, but I'm going to put it there. So that's just that. So, yeah, anyway, we're just going to assemble this little pansy. And yeah, okay. Stick. Whoa, I totally moved my whole thing. Liquid glue is not my favorite glue. I actually prefer our seal, but because these are so detailed and I did not use adhesive sheets, I'm going to just add them with liquid glue. So if you want more information on our adhesive sheets, I actually put out an adhesive video as well. So you can check that out on my channel. Let's go ahead and adhere this guy. And then we'll put him on the card. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else really that I wanted to tell you about die cutting. If you do have any questions, please leave me a comment, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can, okay? Let's flip those over. Let's add some dimensionals to the back of our flower. Now, the one thing I always like to do, this is more of an adhesive tip than die cutting, but you can see I glued these two die cut pieces together. And I'm going to add my dimensionals overlapping them just because I feel like that gives me a little bit more security that they're actually going to stay connected. I don't know. It's just like a mind game, I guess. And then we're just going to add this to our card. Add some seal. Ah, it's stuck. I got glue on my fingers. Okay. Let's see. Where do we want to add our leaves? Should we add one here? I kind of want it popping off because I think that would be cute. And then maybe also back there. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So there's that. And then all I have to do is add a sentiment. Do we think I could stamp it on here even though I've already stuck it down? We're gonna try. We're gonna try. Okay, so let me grab a little block here. And we're gonna match our accent of our pansy. And hold our breaths. We did it! Yay! I didn't know if that was going to turn out because I already had stuck it down with dimensionals, but it did. So, okay, so here's our card using those 3 different dies. So fun. Such a beautiful card too. And it's really easy, you know, if you are doing like kind of an assembly line, right? You could die cut all of these so fast, then do all of these so fast, then do all of these so fast. So you don't put it together like one piece at a time, right? Okay, let me grab my catalog here. And let me show you. So, for example, on this pansy set, you might be watching this video after this catalog has already retired. And when I'm filming this video, I don't know if this bundle is staying around or not. So I do apologize if you're like, I do want this bundle and it's gone. I do apologize for that. However, my main focus today was die cutting. So you just pick another flower set and you can apply the same kind of guidelines, okay? But I am going to show you what it looks like here with the bundles, okay? So here's the stamp set, and it tells you down here at the bottom that there are dies. That's those little gray images there. Here's the stamp set right here, and it says 10% bundled savings. And you can see here the Pansy Patch stamp set has this code, 154999. Okay, the Pansy dies, it tells you are on page 165, so we'd have to go there to get those code, or that code, excuse me. But you can look right here, Pansy Patch Bundle is 155674. Okay, so if that would be the code you'd look in, or you would just type in Pansy Patch in my online store, and you would select the bundle instead of just the stamp set or just the dies, okay? Does that kind of make sense? You can see it over here too with this one. Same thing, 10% bundled savings. So you want to look for that in the catalog, okay? All right, so let's flip. Let's start here. Yeah, we're going to start here. So this is, again, the current annual catalog. If you're not watching at the time of the current annual catalog, I'm sure it is in the new one. It just might have a different page number, okay? So page 156 of this one has those die cutting machines. These are all of the accessories, right? So as I stated, if you buy the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it comes with this plate, and this plate. Okay, you do not need to buy these separately. Now, over time, you might want to buy clear plates, right? If you warp these to the point where they crack, or you're just like, I just want new ones. Sometimes, like, I just think I want new ones. You can buy new clear plates. Not a big expense there just to get those new clear plates, but you almost never will have to buy the number 1, 2, or a number 4 plate, which we didn't even talk about today because you don't use it with die cutting, okay? So pretty much never. You will probably never have to buy those unless you lose them, okay? So that's what you want to look at here. Same thing with the mini machine here. They've got the packs of those. We unfortunately do not have the magnetic plates because they are still trying to work out some kinks with those, prototyping some stuff. So as of right now, we don't have those, but you'll see them here. Same thing. You would maybe want to get new clear plates for your mini machine. I'll show you mine. I did just buy new ones for mine because look at how warped those are. They're pretty bad, so it makes it a little bit difficult to run through, so I am going to replace mine. Not a big expense again, okay? All right, the next page has just some ideas here for you on like you know, we love those little cards. Of course, we always love when we see cards and just different things here. And then it also goes into the bundles. Now, these are all the die bundles. So again, these are the 10%. It's nice that they put them in one spot for you, so you can just kind of flip through here real quick. This is what I like to reference to of like, do I already own that or not? So these are our current die bundles. Okay, and then we also have just plain dies. So these are dies that do not come with a bundle. Now, sometimes we will have stamps and dies that coordinate, but they're not offered as a bundle. So let me look right here. These are the Brilliant Wings dies, and they coordinate with the Butterfly Brilliance set. So let me just show you that. Because the reason they do that is because they just kind of don't carry bundles over from catalog to catalog sometimes. So we've got this stamp set here. It's a big background stamp of butterflies. And it does still say here that it coordinates with the Brilliant Wings dies, and to go to that page to check them out, okay? So there is no bundle pricing, that is, but you can still buy those. Okay, so that just kind of shows you, oh, I almost said there's our pansies, but no, that's not true. Those are the daffodils. So anyway, you can see those. Here's that Stitched Greenery one that we use today. Sometimes they just fully do not coordinate with a stamp set like Stitched Greenery. There is no stamp set that they designed to work specifically with it. Same thing with like, you're going to have shapes and tags and things like that. Okay. So yeah, I think that's all. All right. Okay. I just sneezed, so my eyes are like wigging out. So if it looks like I've been crying, I haven't. I just sneezed, okay? I promise. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you had a great time learning about some die cutting things. Again, if you've been die cutting for like 20 years, I hope I taught you something. If there's some kind of really fantastic tip that I did not talk about that you think everyone in the world needs to know about, please add that in the comments of this video so everyone can find that, or in the comments of the blog post, which is linked in the description of this video, okay? All right, I think the only other thing I actually did not talk about that came to mind when I said, if you have tips, so I am gonna mention it right here real quick. So I use these dryer sheets, right? These are unscented because you don't want them to be scented. But if you use dryer sheets, if you have a very, very, very detailed die, you can actually put the dryer sheet, unfold it, put the dryer sheet down, cardstock on top, die on top, okay? So it's still gonna have 1, 2, 3, dryer sheet, cardstock, die, the other number 3 plate, and run that through. And these will actually grab most, if not all, of your little die cut pieces that are just a pain to find like later on, you know, in your shirt or on the floor, whatever. So anyway, yeah, I digress. But if you have any other tips, please let us know. We love to help each other out, okay? All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. I will catch you next time. Bye for now.